Welcome everyone. Welcome to another preview. This is MetalCanyon, and we'll be checking out a game by, I apologize in advance because I'm probably going to completely butcher this name, Jan Zeleny, a game called Mashinky. I think that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, I apologize. It's probably completely wrong pronunciation of the developer's name. And that's the first thing that really hit me with this. If we go to the credits, there's the author, Jan. He's pretty much the sole developer of this game. Has been developing it for 7 years and is still going strong. And it is a game a lot akin to Sid Meier's Railroads and also Transport Tycoon, or Transport Tycoon Deluxe, if you remember that. So there we go. It's about trains. I love games like these. I loved the... Man, that's a traffic jam. I loved my playthroughs of Transport Tycoon Deluxe that I've played as a kid a lot. I really enjoy that with all the various trains and cars and ships and so on. But trains were usually the most fun because you laid down tracks and then you also placed the various signals so the trains would actually not crash into each other and so on. Now look at this. Look. It's a nice little coal-powered engine, well, steam-powered engine. Oh man. So the first thing we can see is that yes, the game does look a bit like Sid Meier's Railroads and Transport Tycoon, because, well, it is sort of the same principle. You build your transporting empire, and you've got various towns and industries strewn about that... What is going on here? Why are these guys all stuck? Oh, because this is all full over here. There we go. Yeah, and you try to basically make money by transporting goods, by transporting people, by and so on and so forth. And the nice thing about it is, of course, like before, or maybe even more so now, that you've got industrial chains. So here, for example, actually, this would be a better example. I've got some logging stuff here. So these guys produce logs. We're almost full already. This train is already full up on logs, and it's going to deliver them to this horribly jammed station. Please don't take my layout of the tracks as something you should do, because this place is horrible. Everything else is okay-ish, even though it does have its problems as well. I'll get more to that later. But this place is horrible because it's pretty much the... Well, most trains come to this sawmill over here, and most trains across the map also go through this intersection. As you can see, it's just a complete nightmare, and actually nothing will move right now unless I do something about it. So, oh geez, this is a nightmare. I'm actually going to tell this guy to reverse. Now, this is obviously unrealistic that you can reverse trains, but you can also disable that if you so wish. I'm actually going to stop this guy. Anyway, so yeah, they take the logs from the logging camp, they take them to the sawmill, and the sawmill then turns these logs into wooden planks. Now, my trains take these wooden planks and take them to places like these toolworks over here. But the toolworks doesn't just require planks. They require planks, they require coal to work, and they require metal. And they, out of that, and of course, you know, coal is coal, so we just deliver it from a coal mine. I don't know where's one. There's one over here, for example. And the iron has to be, first we get iron ore from mines, we deliver it to foundries, which also require coal, and then they produce iron or steel. Actually, I think that, yeah, it should be... Well, this is steel. Not really sure. Coal, iron. Okay, so this is iron, yes. And those other things are steel. And then finally, we can deliver this steel to the toolworks, which then turns it into resources we can use. So that's a pretty cool thing. And now that I've talked about the resources in the game, I think it took they did a very elegant thing. I mean, it's only one developer. Jan did a very elegant thing with this, I think. It's not just about the money in this game. It's actually about all of the resources at your disposal. So down here in the bottom, I've got money, 16,600 right now, which is a pretty nice amount. I don't have to worry about money. So most of my money comes from actually getting people around. So this is a train that transports people. I've got a dining coach over there. I've got some second class ones, I believe. And these are my money makers, because each person you take on board pays a certain amount of money. I think it's just like $1. And these are the ones that will be making you cash. But of course that's not enough, because when you want to build buy a new train, it's not always just about cash. Some of them can only be bought with resources, and this is also the operating cost. So some of the cheaper ones only run on money, so to speak. You only need money to maintain their operations, but some of them actually consume resources. So for example, this train 284 class 65, we need 50 lumber to buy it, and then also 1 coal to run it. Now 1 coal, that's every now and then when the cycle goes around. I'll show you that in just a moment. But down here, we've got coal. So it's not enough to just get coal from a coal mine. No, this is just a raw resource. You need a refined resource, which is indicated by these round icons. So you need to take this and bring it through the industrial chain until you get to a place like the toolworks over here, which produce these. There you go. So these are, it's like a coal coin, if you wish. So these are all coins, pretty much all resources that you can use. So I think that's a pretty awesome idea, that some of these trains use money for operations, some of them use coal, which are more powerful, some of them later on use oil, or well, fuel. These are diesel powered. And of course, I only have these trains over here available, but there's a lot more. It's just that the really old ones have gone out of service and you cannot buy them anymore, because right now I'm in the second era, the diesel era. That's also another cool thing. The game, like Transport Tycoon, is placed into various, it's divided into various eras. See, these guys are getting people up. You see the little windows closing like that? That means these cars are full of people. There we go. This is a full train with 138 people on board out of 138. That's excellent. So it's gonna get us quite a lot of money. Apparently 301? Jeez, that's quite lovely actually. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's a real money maker. But like I said, money alone is not enough. So if we look at a train like this, for example, this is also something I really enjoy. Each one has an operating cost. In this case, what is this? Train 21. It doesn't tell you what name it is. You know what? You can just ignore the next signal because this guy is still waiting. But anyway, this guy uses fuel. Unlike this one that only uses money. And I'll have to manually stop this guy. No, I won't have to. Excellent. All right. And there's this arrow, this dotted arrow here going to the right. And this means that if we were to wait, actually, let me show you. So if I speed things up, look, you will see this filling up green. It's difficult to see. You see that? It's filling up green, and look at that now. Look at the train. And come on. Almost there. Boom. Did you see that little icon? There. It just used 1 fuel from our reserves. And why I think this is so elegant is because, one, it's very cool that you don't just have operating costs via money, you actually have to spend your own resources on running trains. This also denotes how old these trains are. So they start with a completely empty arrow and they fill up green. But you can see that there's one red dot over here, and this is because this train is 23 years old. So this means that this red dot is not used anymore, which means, of course, that the cycle is shorter, that it uses more fuel faster, or just uses one fuel faster each time. And as it gets older, that gets worse and worse. If I look at the oldest train I have, 50 years old, this guy. See, everything is pretty much red, which means that it uses $2 very, very quickly in a very quick cycle. I will definitely have to replace this train. And another nice thing is, oh yeah, good, another traffic jam. Oh my goodness. No, because I have 2 trains going to that stage. Okay, never mind. For the purposes of this preview, I'll just leave it like this. This is a disaster. I would have to completely rework the rails over here, but I haven't yet. In fact, at some point in the game, I have completely reworked pretty much the entire train network of mine here, because everything was just a mess, and I wanted to have a one-way track backwards and forwards everywhere. But of course, you also need intersections and such, which is where problems can arise very quickly, especially in a very high traffic area like this, where, well, trains get stuck everywhere because they don't want to crash into each other if you've placed your signals correctly. So yeah, look at this train. It's completely rusty because it's 41 years old. I really like that detail. And what's also very cool, and I cannot believe this is a game made by one person. Let's go to this guy. Let's go like this. Look at this. No, wait. Go back. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You can also change the camera. You can sound the horn. You can go to the different cars that it has. Look at how many this one has. Jeez. And of course, every train has its own engine sound. Every train has its own horn. Apparently, you'll be able to drive trains yourself later on as well. That's not implemented yet, and there will also be multiplayer. Okay, so at this point, I can say I honestly don't know how the heck did one guy create all of this. Before we continue with the preview, can I just say that look at the graphics. I mean, this is so nice. It's so nicely detailed. The cars and the trains look really nice. They sound good. Like, you can go to the various industries and enjoy all of the niceness here. You can also upgrade industries, by the way. You can go to extensions and then build another propane plant over here, for example, and such. But yeah, this game I have been playing for quite a few hours now, I have to say. This is not an easy thing to do in just a little bit. This has been hours and hours and hours of work, and this is the smallest map, by the way. This is the smallest map you can do, I believe, which is insane. I'll get to that later as well. There might be a bit of a problem with that. But anyway, this was made by one person. It looks nice. It sounds nice. It plays great. It's so much fun. There's so many things to do. I'm only in the diesel era. And oh yeah, by the way, there's cars as well now with the latest update. I mean, jeez. This is my bus transporting people. And it's also... This is an alpha, by the way. I completely forgot to say that at the beginning. So, yeah, because it's an alpha, you have to be careful. A lot of things might not be finished, unpolished, and so on. But this is one of the very rare games where I can... I don't think I really need that warning right at the beginning, because it is so polished, so nice, works so great, it loads fantastically quickly, runs great. I have not seen any bugs with the game so far. It's just insane. Apart from, of course, my traffic over here, which is just horrendous, and there's little I can do. This guy, I believe, if I reverse him, will go... Yep, he'll go right back. Yep, that's not gonna work. Lovely, lovely. I could crash the... Oh man. Oh geez. Oh geez. Oh geez. Yeah. I mean, once you start building the stuff, I mean, in the beginning you have a couple of stations, 3 stations maybe, a couple of trains, 3 or 4, and it's easy. But once you start making a big infrastructure like this, where you don't need trains to go just between, I don't know, the sand pit and the there we go, the steelworks over there, for example, you need a whole chain. You need the sand to go there, you need coal to go there, you need planks to go there, and you need iron. And of course, all of those other industries need their other resources to be transported there. So you cannot just create one-way lines back and forth to avoid traffic problems. You need to create an infrastructure where any train will be able to go anywhere on the map if required. Of course, you select the orders where you want these trains to go. And this is also very, very nicely done. Oh yeah, let me show you the signals here. See, the signal is red and these are closed. By the way, these are different signals because over here is the upgraded train track, which allows the trains to go faster. That's why it has these nicer signals as well. I thought it was because of the era had progressed, and I believe it might have something to do with that as well, but yeah. Anyway, so you add the orders where you want the trains to go, and they will find the best route there, usually. If they're doing something weird, it's probably because you did something wrong with the train tracks. So this one is going there to fill up on the fuel, and then it'll go to this industry over here to refine the oil into fuel. And another thing I wanted to say, when I was talking about polish, look at this, for example. This guy is transporting iron ore. You see the iron ore in there. Everything is so visual. The only thing that's missing now, really, is people on the train stations, where people are actually waiting. So, for example, there's 388 people waiting here, but there's nothing in the stations, and there's no people walking about. But remember, this is an alpha. This is an alpha game. It's so insane. Look at how many we have here. 716. What is that? That's an interesting tower thing. It's like a coal storage of some sort. That's really cool. Who's supplier? Hello, I'm looking for a competent supplier, and you're probably the best in the region. I will give you some work, but only if you are capable to supply the requested goods for a period of 10 years in a quantity that I will determine. If you agree, the contract will start at the beginning of the following year, from January 1973. Deliver various amounts of goods and steel each for 10 years. Okay. I'm not interested or signed. 200 plus increased each year. That's quite interesting. So you get these various quests while you're, if you want to call them quests, it's more like contracts, while you're playing. So sometimes it'll ask you to deliver more passengers. Transport 2,000 passengers directly between 2 cities, and it'll show you which ones. See how nice the UI is. This one, for example, deliver 200 steel to any factory, but sometimes it'll be a little different. For example, this ruined church over here. Greetings, my child. Our modest parish lacks a place to pray and shelter. From the community, we acquired a very old derelict church we would like to repair. Our followers will help, but we need building materials. That's why I'd like to ask you for help. We took a collection from our congregation. It's not much, but maybe it will be enough. So, you're supposed to bring 250 planks and 150 iron to this church over here, which is clearly, you can see, ruined. It's unfinished. So that's really cool. You get these various missions as well. And the really nice thing about all these missions is, so far at least, they all seem to be optional. They all seem to be bonuses. I hate games that always dog you, you know, hound you for something. And it's like, go, do this. You've got a time limit. If you don't do it, you fail. Not here. This is all a relax, do it. Well, relax apart from this monstrosity. Bloody hell, look at this. It's just horrendous. So much would be required to unravel this. I'm gonna do it later. And there's only one main mission all the time, and that's the era mission. So over here, we've got the Diesel Age. You can see the 4, because every era is split into 2. You've got the early age and then the age of whatever it is. So you start in the early steam age with some, fairly primitive steam engines. Then you go to the steam age, then to the early diesel age, and now I'm going to the diesel age. But of course, to get to those eras, you either need to wait. See, time to next age. It'll start at 1983. So I can do it earlier than this by spending lots and lots of resources. I've already spent, I think, $2,000 and I don't know what it was, 200 fuel, but I still need to spend 500 iron, which I'm not even close to, and 100 steel. And that will give you various bonuses. Oh, wait a second. I am in the diesel age. I will be entering the electric age. So that's really, really cool. That's one of the things that really excites me. You start with coal and steam-powered engines, moving on to diesel. Obviously, you need to refine fuel and such. But right now, all my tracks are just normal tracks. Some of them are upgraded, like these ones over here. No, wait. These ones. These ones are nicer, upgraded tracks that allow... Let's see. That allow you to go 112. Look at that. And these old ones only allow you to go 50 miles per hour, which is not very good. I think it's in miles per hour, right? Yeah, mph. But what I'm really excited about is that this guy says in the electric age, you will have electrified tracks. See? Build the first electrified track. That's going to be so awesome. And what's even more awesome is that Jan is saying that in the future, as he develops the game more, there will be more eras. I don't know how many eras there are, actually. The electrified, sounds like it would be the last one, but he says there will be a future one as well, where I have no idea. Maybe maglevs and, stuff like that. That would be... I love future stuff, but I also like the Steam stuff. So yeah, talking about the size of the map and this horrible traffic jam. Now, I've tried to make it as nice as possible. Obviously, here I'm, a little flabbergasted because for some reason, lots of my trains come through here to this station, but I also made this into a hub where most of the trains seem to cross into different parts of the map, which is obviously not what you want to do, so I would have to completely rework this. But what I wanted to say is maybe... Oh, wow, this is a big town here. 20. Oh, 22, even bigger. What I wanted to say here is that this is the smallest map, and it can get a little overbearing sometimes, a little overwhelming, especially when you get complete and utter gridlocks like this, where if I don't want to crash this, it's not like in Transport Tycoon when you can stop the train. Was that Roller Coaster Tycoon, actually? You could stop the roller coaster and click the red button again and it would disappear. No problem, it wouldn't crash. But over here, you cannot do that. Even though I have the reversing enabled, I would have to reverse this guy, then stop this one from going forward, then reverse this guy, reverse this one, but this one would want to go here, yeah, so, I mean, it can get overwhelming quite a bit, and considering that, you start with no experience in this game, or maybe you've played the Transport Tycoons and such, you'll be limited by money. You won't be able to create nice, expansive, large networks right from the get-go. You'll need to upgrade them over time and make them more suitable for high traffic. So it can get a little bit overwhelming. And like I said, this is the smallest map. I cannot even imagine what it's like on the largest map. I mean, there would be so many trains running everywhere. Of course, it would also be on a much larger map, which means that the industries wouldn't be so close together there either. But still, I mean, it's insane. Oh man, I've been babbling about this, but what else there is to say? I mean, I have been having so much fun with this game. I really honestly have been having... Every time I get frustrated by this traffic jam, which I have created, I sometimes just save the game, leave it, and then, immediately half an hour later I'm thinking, I would like to play more Mashinky. Try to try to get rid of this or get more industries going, because there's quite a few industries I still haven't touched here. This foundry here, this refinery here, the steel works, you know, and it's just fun. And as you buy new trains, here's my depot. As you buy new trains, you've also got the different wagons to put on them. You know, so these are the passenger ones, and it's not just passengers. These are tiny passengers, one for 8 people. These coaches for 15. These are first class, which cost more, have a little more, a few more people, but also increase your income by 10%. And then you've got a dining car, which doesn't actually have any capacity, but increases your total, I think, income by 15%, which I think is pretty fantastic. And I've got these nicer ones. Look at that. Haven't even seen this. Then you've got the ones for mail, the ones for oil, and as you progress through the ages, they get bigger, with more capacity, and of course more expensive ones, which is pretty awesome, I think. I mean, look at all this. And this is only like half, probably. Or maybe not even that. I mean, it's insane. You can also filter them out if you wish, which is nice. Wait, what's this? Oh, these are the upgrades. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's really nice. What if I... Okay. Don't know how to select all of them again. Wait. Nope, no idea. You've got also bonuses, because sometimes when you do missions, you will get bonus trains or bonus wagons, or sometimes just lots of bonus resources and money. And everything has an extension, by the way. So even if I click on the town here, I can do some extent. Not for this one, okay. But if I do, let's look at an industry. Let's look at this forest over here. No, let's look at this foundry. So I've got a double station here. I can build some extensions like a waiting room, which is not really useful because I have no passengers here, but I can do a freight station here to increase loading speed by to 200% and capacity by 50%. So you place this down next here, for example, and there you go. Now stuff will be loaded much faster over here. There's also a restaurant when you've got people, storage capacity, signal box, max size. I don't really understand what that's all about, because I've placed one, and you can always just place more stations next to this one to enlarge it. So I don't really know what that's all about. Got a coal hopper, iron ore hopper, but the really cool thing is, let's say for example, these guys, I don't know, let's say over here where the coal is, I've got 179, 181 out of 200. But let's say I would have so many trains coming here, and these guys would be producing coal so slowly that I would need more. This would be at 0 most of the time. So I can also upgrade the industries. No, not this. I can click on the industry. You see it creates coal a little bit faster because I already have an extension on it. I've got one. I built a coal storage, which is this one. But I can also build a maintenance shed to create coal even faster, or timber tunnel supports. See? And you have to place it down there. And of course they will produce coal much faster then as a result. I think that's really fantastic. And like I said, everything is very visual in the game. Like, see, there's goods in there. There's not a lot of them because these wagons would be closed. But you can actually see the stuff being transported. Over here you can see some of these windows have curtains closed, which means that there's people inside. All of these mail wagons are closed, which means there's lots of mail in there. And if you look at them load and unload, you can actually see the mail being put in there. It's really cool. Oil ones, obviously you cannot see anything. Iron ore there. Wow, that guy's rusty. You've got coal over here. I just love that. I love all the little details. You can really see that this game, despite being 7 years in the making and probably a few years more considering it's just one person, has been made with love and care all these years. I mean, it's just ridiculous how polished, fun, and nice this game already is. And he calls it an alpha. An alpha! I mean, the only thing I would call alpha or omega really, is this bloody traffic jam I've created. Nothing else. I mean, look at this. Oh yeah, I haven't touched really. If you press space, you go into build mode, which is really useful because you can see that everything goes sort of simplified, slightly cel-shaded, unanimated. I was like confused at the beginning. I was like, was this a placeholder? Oh wait, I'm in build mode. See? But it's really nice because it shows you all the signals, how they're working. See, these signals are red with the red arrows over here, and they'll turn green when this guy goes through this block. Bing, there we go. And you can place down stuff. So you've got bridges, you've got tunnels, you've got stations. Obviously, like I said, you can place down tracks like this. And connect tracks or cross them with each other. I cannot place them here because I've got the signals in the way. And then obviously you place signals down. You can do them both ways, or you can just do them one way. So this is now a single block over here, which will not allow more than one train to go. Signals are very important, and you can have a lot of fun with them, but if you don't place them down correctly, you will have stuff like this. And of course, the problem arises when you get diesel trains, more powerful trains, and you get really long trains like this one. This one isn't even that horribly long, but yeah. Considering that most of my stations and infrastructure was built for much shorter trains, much older trains, like this guy, for example. Okay, no, this is a diesel one. Where's a smaller... this one. See? It's got 3 little cars. And it's already almost at the maximum, 206 tons out of 224. You can overload trains if you wish. That's not a problem, but they will lose a lot of speed doing so. But yeah, see, this guy had no problem going into any of the stations, but when you get to sizes like this, suddenly your infrastructure starts not being enough, because they will clog things up because they're just too long. And also, the main reason this clog has happened because 2 trains wanted to go to this one-way station, and this station was placed when I wasn't really... I was only starting out, so yeah, that's obviously not how you should do things. And I cannot extend it past here because this part of the forest is actually part of the logging camp over here. So it's a bit of a problem. If I wanted to destroy this, yeah, cannot really do that one, unfortunately. So this game absolutely immediately gets my coveted MetalCanyon's seal of approval, because it is just so much fun. And you know what the really nice thing is? You've also got the music player, by the way, which has apparently, what, one? That's interesting. It's got a lot of these various tracks, but they do get a little bit grating towards the end, because some of them are quite long, like this one, 1024. And it's just... I started turning it off. But you can go to the... Wow, there's even a world editor I didn't try yet. But you can go to a new game and create it however much you like. Look at that. You've got Alpine and you've got Wild West. You can increase the map to 512. We are playing on 128. How many hills you want? Forests, industries, towns, lakes, fields, start era, randomized. You cannot go past the area you got to while playing, by the way. So I can only go to the 4th era, and if I get past the 4th era, I'll be able to select that here as well. You've got the seed. You can also click what they recommend for your first game, which is nice. And then you've got all your custom maps and the advanced options, what kind of a difficulty you want, whether you want a tutorial, random quests, era progression, and so on and so forth. I love this. Everything is so customizable. You can town set names here. I mean, it's bloody, like, rust visible. I mean, this is amazing. I love this game to bits. I think Jan is a bloody genius for doing all of this himself and doing it so well. And I just cannot recommend this game enough. If you like train building, if you liked Sid Meier's Railroads, if you liked Transport Tycoon, you will love this game. It is so much fun, and it is already so polished, despite it being an alpha. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little preview. and I will see you next time in another preview. Have a good one. Bye-bye.